So, you want to worship at the paw of the bear god, huh? That's okay. I'm not one to judge. Welcome, everybody, back to Dialar's Playground. Today we're going to go do an Eternal Evolution deep dive, focusing on Bohr now. Let's go to my screen. So Bohr, you know, he's a tank, right? You're here to learn how to gear him, how to build him. I will let you know that he is decent. So, of the tanks that are generally considered worthy of using that are not triple S tanks. Well, the triple S tank's not really great either, but no one builds her. So, anyway, Bohr, which you see right here, and then Oak are considered worthy and viable tanks to use in this game. Oisa is decent. Especially in early game, that's who the game's going to give you. And her stun, her CC is actually clutch. I'm using her a lot, really, in my account that I just started, which I'm going to do a segment on weekly. She's okay. Langle is horrible. I'm not even going to do a deep dive on him. He is just trash. He's food. Don't use him. Queel or Queet is also kind of trash because he'll just jump to the back line and leave your team open. Don't use him either. Hercules is usable. I'm currently using him on my main account in Faction Mine, oddly enough. So, okay. But Bohr, who you're all here to see, the Bear God. I don't know why I keep calling him Bear God, but he's okay, right? Just because he's got a bunch of survivability. So in this video, we're going to go over how to build him, talk about his kit, and then we're going to show you a little bit of footage. Now, the footage that I recorded at the end wasn't the best footage, but you will use this guy. I even use this guy on my main account still. So just note that when you're fighting him, you'll see when you're fighting him against the PC version, he'll get a big purple bar. So you're doing damage, and then there's a part of his kit where it says it'll deduct from his max HP. So the purple bar moving down, that's not a shield. That's you doing damage from his max HP. So you're going to do damage in basically two different bars. Current HP and max HP. He basically, you got to think of him as having the normal health bar, and then the pink or the purple that's at the end that works its way from the right to the left. That's his max HP bar, which we'll draw from as well. So that's one thing that I tried to capture. I wanted to capture in the video footage, but I just didn't. So I thought I'd explain that now. So let's dive into Bohr's kit, shall we?
Okay, so Bohr, boy. As you see, my Bohr is my best tank at Immortal +3.
I'll tear you apart.
That sounds like a Scottish guy that's in a lot of movies. He was like in Last Samurai, and he was one of the dwarves in one of the Hobbit movies. That's who that guy sounds like to me. That's who I hear whenever I see that voice. But anyways, first we're going to go to the gear. As always, that's the most important part. So currently I have 2 vigorous and 1 defense. Now, ideally, you would want all 3 sets to be vigorous, so HP. The only reason why I am running 1 defense set is because I don't have another HP primary vigorous helmet. Otherwise, this would be HP primary gloves, HP primary damage reduction primary, and then what you want to look for in all the substats is HP and damage reduction. Obviously, I'm not putting a whole lot of effort into my Bohr, so as you see, the stats are just as what they are. I don't even think I really look like 1 HP, 1 defense, 1 HP, 1 HP damage reduction. Nothing really there. Damage reduction there, and some defense. So not the greatest gear that could be on them, but keep in mind, guys, you want to go for 3 vigorous sets with HP primaries on the hands and the head, and then damage reduction on the boots. Let's move over to his exclusive first before we get any deeper. So I got mine just unlocked. I got no extra points into him. I'd say you can if you want, maybe take it up to 10, but I wouldn't be spending any of my yellow or my red runes on Bohr because, you know, we've already got 2 really good Vanguard tanks. You could run Artis as a 3rd tank. You do need tanks for certain parts of the game, which we'll discuss when we look at the footage, but I would not take him any higher than 10. And what the unlock of his exclusive reads, Bear Vanguard, so Bohr, will ignore the first fatal strike that he receives in battle, and he will thereafter gain a bear shield, a shield of bears, equal to 6% of his max HP for 6 seconds. So he's a little bit of invulnerability, so as soon as he is going to die, he's going to get a shield equal to 6% of his max HP. Maybe he gets a heal in that time, maybe he doesn't, but he's going to be alive for a little bit longer. And then as you go up, the amount of the shield and the length of the time that it lasts for goes up. 10% at level 10, 16% at level 20. And then he gets a little bit of an offensive bonus at level 30, but I'm not even going to read it because you're not going to do it. Don't do it. Don't ever do that. You can't get exclusive mats back. Once you spend them, they're gone. They're gone. So he's a big old HP meat shield, right? So now let's look at his kit. So we'll start with the ultimate. So Bohr enters Wrath form and becomes a lot bigger, and it lasts for 6.5 seconds. He'll smash the ground and deal 500% attack as damage, so not defense or attack or percent defense as damage. It's attack as damage to all enemies in range, so it's an AoE. When Bohr's HP falls below 70%, damage deducts from his max HP instead of his current HP. Now, I've read all of his kit, and it seems like he plays on this interplay of max HP and current HP. So when he falls below 70%, the damage will instead deduct from max HP, which it reads, I know that sounds confusing. And then the talent effect, for every 10% health lost, he will get 2% permanent damage reduction. Now, I'm unclear if he loses, at 90, at 80, at 70, then he gets healed back up if he keeps gaining. So it's possible, depending on the mechanics, that he can keep ramping up that damage reduction. But let's just pretend that you can't. And let's say at the first time it hits 90, you get 2%, 80, such and such and such. So say at 50%, you've gained 10% damage, extra damage reduction on this guy. So if I've got 47, 48% damage reduction, at half health, he'll ramp up another 10, so he'll be at 58 damage reduction. So a little bit of stuff going on there. The one thing that is a little bit confusing is the interplay between max HP and current HP, but I think that is what is going to be played upon when you'll see it, when we read the rest of his kit. A lot of it relies on the HP ratio. So the higher Bear Vanguard's HP ratio, and I'm assuming that's the difference between max HP, current HP, the more damage the target takes, and the longer the stun time lasts, up to 200% damage and a 2-second stun. And the talent modifier reads X effect when in Wrath form. So X effect when in Wrath form, this skill now has area of effect damage. So don't ask me what X effect is, but when he's in Wrath form, which is this, it says that it now has area of effect damage, which it already did AoE. So that feels really redundant, if you ask me. Moving on. So his Bear Shield, common, Bohr gains a shield equal to 10% of his max HP, not current HP, max HP for 12 seconds. So okay, I get it. So his max HP is 2.1 million, right? So as he loses health, which is his current HP, his skills, the ratio is the difference between the two. So Bohr will gain a shield equal to 10% of his max HP. So whatever the highest range it could be for 12 seconds, and that goes up as a percentage with the level breaks. The talent effect, when Bohr gains a shield, so when he does this skill, he will gain an additional 9% damage reduction for 12 seconds. So say if he gets 10 when he ramps down to 50% health, get it basically another 10. So he's just stacking damage reduction. And his passive, when the HP ratio is above 50%. So what that means is when his health is below 50%, when he's hurt, when he's had his health reduced below 50%, the ratio is going to be above 50% because his max HP 100 subtract 40, say if he's at 40%, is 60. Hence, it is above 50%. He increases defense by 15%. Basically, it should say when his, or as you should think of it, when his HP drops below 50%, he gains 15% defense. This whole damage ratio thing is a little bit confusing and wordy, and really this one could have said when he drops below 50% health, he gains a percent defense. And the talent effect is when the triggering condition of the defense buff is reduced to over 30%. So basically, when he hits 70% current HP is when he gets the defense buff. Again, wordy, overly confusing for how simple that is. So if we go back to throw, the higher Bear Vanguard's HP ratio is, so max HP subtract current HP, the more damage he does, which damage is not really why you're using this guy, but just keep that in mind. And then the shield, where was that shield? Bear shield. So we'll see this throughout the fight, this bear shield. Talents. Hello. There we go. All right, my phone's getting hot. So just get all the major ones, and then if you want, as you see, I've because I do use this guy, I do have some points into the HP, the mini ones. I'm not going to do that. These ones are pricey. I'm not going to do that one. This is basically going to cover it for him. I really shouldn't have put more into there, but I did, so sue me. So you can put them into the defense and the health mini ones, but just pick the big ones and then move on. I guess I do use this guy in arena, so if he is part of your arena mainstay teams, possibly go ham on the health and defense substats. Now let me show you guys where I use him mainly right now in game. So where are we? I use him in Elite Chapter because, well, you'll see my teams right here. I use Leo on my assassin team. I use Crete on my hunter energy team, and I throw Bohr in as a tank on my summoner team. Yes, I could use Muka, but Muka dies, and I think the cost-benefit ratio of putting in Bohr over Muka is worth it here because he'll last longer, and then Kalaza won't get picked on. And yeah, we'll do one fight here just to show you. Keep in mind this is stage 18 or level 18. So there goes Bohr. So watch his health. You see that he's not losing a whole lot of health. Like, he's down to around 70%. So he's gonna run back up there. He's right in the middle. I don't know if you can see him. He hasn't done his shield yet though. Mostly it's all the summoner show. So there, Bohr is stunned. Maybe this wasn't the ideal. Oh, there he is. He's running to the back. I just want to show you guys the shield. So he's healed. No, you can't see the shield. But he's full health. So that is more of a, I think this was more of a highlight of how good Masrani is versus how good Bohr is. But the point is, I do still use him, right? I'm not going to continue. I'm going to quit. No sense making you guys watch non-relevant material. And then the only other place I use Bohr is in my Galactic Arena. Possibly Summit Arena. And I'll be remiss if I didn't say there are some fights in Elite campaign where it requires you to use 2 tanks. So you are going to have to gear 2 tank classes, like pure tank classes. So right now I'm using Bohr and Hercules. And then, because my phone's hot, it's going to take a while. So, I don't use him in regular arena, but I do use him in Galactic Arena. Really, I probably don't even have to. I'd keep in mind, I just kind of reset all my teams. So my teams are not as, what would I say? They're not as strict as they were. So before, I used to have a straight, this would have been a straight Summoner team. Oh, the wife's clients are dropping live files. Everybody's sick, apparently. Oh, well. So, as you see, I do have Muka. This team is basically a suicide team. I took away all the best parts of it, meaning Senway and Daniel, and put in the other two teams. But I left Bohr here when I still had Daniel and Senway in on this team. I wasn't running Muka, and I wasn't running Skewer and Hattie. But this team always died at this level. At the level I'm at, as you see, there's the one team, and there's the other team, right? I stole Daniel. Senway's not even here. I could probably give Senway back to this team instead of Muka, which we'll do right now. Ta-da. There, much better. Put these guys in the back. There we go. Better team. So, I do use him here, but this team is basically the suicide team. It's not going to beat anything. If anything, these two teams with Crete and Leo are going to be doing all of my my pounding and my winning in Galactic Arena. And it's going to be the same thing in Summon Arena as well. And then you can, in Twilight, I know Twilight's up right now. There are bosses in this that are strictly for tanks. And typically I will use Bohr and Hercules, and then I'll run like a Mazrani and a Serena, both my healers, to keep them up. And then I'll either throw in like a Bailey, or usually Bailey, but usually a really, really high damage dealer. So you could use a Leo if you got your Leo really built up, but I'll usually use Bailey since he's typically my highest damage dealing character. So yes, you can use your tanks in Twilight, but you will not really use them at all in Disa, Terra, or Sincero. They're pretty much useless. If you get Crete right away, or even Artis, you can use them in Sincero and Disa. Eventually, you're not going to use any tanks in Disa or Sincero. The only other place you might use Bohr is in the faction-specific soul mines. I do believe, though, I'm running Leo as my tank, so obviously I wouldn't be running Bohr. But if you don't have either Leo or Crete, you can use them here on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays in the When Fear specific faction soul mine. So he does have uses. He's not completely useless. He's considered, as I said in the introduction, one of the serviceable tanks between him, Hercules, and Oak, which I almost have immortal. Those are the serviceable tanks. As I said in the introduction, Oisa, Queel, and Langel are poopy. Don't use them. They're poopy. So I hope this helped you guys. If you are running Bohr as one of your tanks in Eternal Evolution, obviously put the word bear down in the comments. I'll know you made it to the end. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, put them in those comments. I'll read them all religiously, and I will respond back to you. Till next time, guys, cheers, peace, bye-bye.